Guys, so in this video we'll be going over making a slightly more advanced car than our previous tutorial. So as you can see, I'm starting off with a few base props. I'm thinking I might make something that's going to look like a ute at this point, but I decide later to make it look more like a Land Rover. So what I'm doing is I'm demonstrating how you can use the Fizz gun. Hold E to rotate, hold Shift and E to snap it into a 45-degree position. I'm just using the precision tool and the smart snap. So press E with smart snap and it will basically make you point at one of those little corners marked in red. So I'm just building the car now. I'm taking everything, I'm going to weld it perfectly together. Just take the bottom. I accidentally welded it in the wrong place. Alright, so I'm just adjusting everything. Here we go. This is going to be the front of our car, like the engine block. So that looks good, everything's perfectly in position, so I continue on. I noticed that after I placed this, I've made it a bit wonky, so I'm redoing that. Just placing that in on top there. I will end up moving that later, but for now, I'm just leaving it as it is. So there we go, there's the engine block done. So I'm making the rest of the body of the car. I'm going to use some of these plastics. As you notice, there's each one of those squares is one block long. So I'm finding a 1x3 plate to fit those 3 blocks there. Just going to weld that to the side, do the same on the other side. There we go, it's starting to look like a car now. Gonna add a bit of a windscreen. Now I was going to use these triangular props, but due to their texture, I've decided to use these 1x1 triangles. So same procedure, just smart snapping and precision welding them together. At this point, I'm using the precision tool to move that prop down 100% of its width. So basically, as you can see, this will put it into there, so they intersect. Now that's done, weld everything together just briefly. Carry on placing my windscreen. Now I need a 1x2 block to finish the edges of the car. But first of all, we're going to use one of these carved pieces as a windshield. So just placing that there. Place it accidentally in the wrong position, so I'm redoing that. And I realize again it's in the wrong position, so fixing it up, placing it properly, and there we go. It's starting to look like a vehicle. Like I said before, we're using the 1x2 plates. Now when you place something with precision tool, after you weld it, it will give you the opportunity to rotate it. So depending on whether you hold Shift, R, or just right click, it will rotate it in different directions. So we go, just making the rear of the car. It's a very little boxy car, but you know, it looks alright. Adding a roof. There we go. So there's the basic parts of our car done. What I'm going to do now is weld everything together and meticulously go through and no collide everything, and I believe I've cut that out of the video. There we go, just welding everything. Crazy welding going on. Okay. Testing out a copy, because I always never take your main prop, like when you're building something like this, never unfreeze it. You want to keep it frozen. So I'm demonstrating the no collide tool here. So with no collide, these props will pass through each other. So for these pieces that are intersecting, if I left them colliding with each other, the car wouldn't work properly. It would just rattle around. Places like pieces of car wouldn't fit together. So just testing out a copy, having a go at no colliding various parts. Once I know what I need to do, it's time to do the materials. So I'm using a glass-like material for our windscreen. Just use the materials tool for this. I'm trying to change it to be a little bit more blue, but it doesn't really make much of a difference here. Just looking through the different materials. And I find this material I like, so I'm deciding to use that as for the body of the car. I'm just looking at different props I can use. Now at this point I'm going to add wheels to the car. So I'm looking through trying to find a suitably sized wheel. I'm testing out the car again just to make sure it doesn't all collide. So I'm looking at the number keys that I'm going to use to control the wheels. Using Smart Snap again to place the wheels, and I decide to change the color of that bottom plate so I can see it more clearly. So I'm coming in the same amount on each side, placing them in exactly the same position so that all the wheels are completely level with each other. Make sure they're all facing in the right direction. See, I was talking about these in the video, but the audio was a little bit quiet. So here we go, testing out the car. Goes forward pretty easily. I'm adding some more torque because I think it needs it. Testing it out again. There you go, it seems to go a bit faster. So now I'm going to use the thrusters like we did in the basic car videos. I'm going to use the thrusters to turn the car. So that's why I left a little bit of space at the front there. So I'm just demonstrating with the effects on, so I'll turn them on or off after. So basically when you see, when I turn right, both those thrusters at the front fire in that direction. There you go, you can see how it works. Turn left and right, very, very quick. And just now that I've done the demonstration, I'm removing the effects using the same controls and everything. Reducing the power of them slightly. Oh, actually I'm adding I'm adding a smoke effect thruster, which will also give the car a little bit of a boost. So there we go. And for some reason the car is like falling through the world, like the I'm just using the opacity, setting the opacity to 0, so you can't see those thrusters. Adding a seat now. The office chair will do. Sit in it, check how it fits. Yeah, it looks okay, but it needs to be moved up slightly, so there we go. There's our basic car. I'm gonna now weld this seat in place. Just gonna weld it to everything. Now adding some lamps. This is a little bit more advanced, so basically I'll get 2 lamps. Make sure they're all on and off at the same time, so don't toggle them. I'm just placing them on the front with the position placement. And now I'm going to use the 50% push-pull to push them into the car slightly, so they're not sticking out as much. So disable collisions, weld them in place. Testing a duplication of the car, and it doesn't really handle off-road situations because I think the wheels are a bit small for that. But, oh wow, it goes fast, it's crazy fast. But yes, it's very unstable. So if you were doing this, I'd recommend using bigger wheels. I'm increasing the weight of the chassis now, the base plate, so that way it's a little bit less bumpy because I think it was too light before. Still really, really crazily unstable, but if you're just driving around on flat grass or something, it works fine. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope this was informative, and take care, bye.